Mr. President, thank you so much for being here. Straight to the march for Mr. Trzaskowski. Why?
I think it's important that we have political leadership in Poland, which is related with our values, and political leadership in Poland, which is which will fight for the enforcement of the European Union.
Okay. What do you mean by enforcement of European Union? Where do you want the European Union to go from here? Where do you see Union in 5 years, 10 years?
So there are two or three things. First is security, and the common security needs common efforts, and I'm a big fan of this REARM program of the European Union. Secondly, we are in a global market. We are in a global competition, and Europe must be more competitive. And in order to do that, we must have aligned countries inside inside Europe. Yes, and then yes, the questions of democracy, free of speech, all these things are important. Also for the prosperity, for the economical question of.
So you think Mr. Trzaskowski would better fit your aims in the European Union than Mr. Nawrocki?
Yes, I think as I understand the Poland situation, yeah, and the last thing, it's also to the last question. Also, an important thing for Europe is to have a good response to the illegal migration, which is important for all the countries which are at the border. I think, as I understand the Poland situation, the main difference between the two candidates is so the two main differences are first the respect for the rule of law, which is important, and secondly for the cooperation inside Europe, which is for that historical moment it's important.
So one of the main differences between Mr. Nawrocki and Mr. Trzaskowski is Ukraine and their attitude towards Ukraine. Mr. Nawrocki said that he doesn't want to see Ukraine in NATO, and Mr. Trzaskowski thinks we should bring Ukraine into NATO as soon as possible. What do you think? Do you think Ukraine should join NATO, or will you oppose enlargement of NATO for Ukraine?
Yes, it's so of course it cannot be done now. So it's a question for many years from now. Of course, as a Romanian, I would like to have border with friends, not with people that are not enemy, but some country which we have some historical bad issues, relations. Yes, but what is important for that very moment, it's to help Ukraine to have the better peace for itself, because it's a question of security for our own. First, because we prefer to have a border with Ukraine, with that Ukraine, and not with some country like Belarus. Secondly, because we have some international treaties from 80 years that gave us peace and prosperity. And it was Russia that broke that rules. And we do not want to have this kind of situation again. So that's, for that reason, it's important that we help Ukraine to have the most reasonable peace.
So do you want Ukraine to join NATO sometime in the future? Not
sometime
now.
In the future, yes.
Will you support it?
Yes, because as I said, we prefer to have neighbors that with whom we have good relations.
So will you support Ukraine now? Will you keep on sending armaments and diplomatic efforts to help Ukraine? Will you continue this?
Yes, yes. I think it was a good. Even I contested a lot the Romanian politician before, the national politician before. It was a good thing that they did to support Ukraine, and will continue to support it logistically, financially Ukraine. Yes.
Of course, we all followed what was happening in the presidential campaign in Romania, and canceling the first round, and it was very difficult, I understand, for you. And we observed the amount of disinformation that was used in the presidential campaign in Romania. Could you comment on this? Could you tell and explain to us, because we are talking about the disinformation in the Polish campaign as well, how did you fight it? What can be done to oppose disinformation? And did you see a lot of Russian influence, Russians trying to influence the presidential elections in Romania?
Yes, very interesting question. I think that there have been there have been two levels. First of all, there is a network of small sites which are followed by 100,000, tens of thousands of people each, that have been built in the last 10 years. And unfortunately, we didn't pay too much attention to it. So there are sites talking on health, naturalistic health, religion, sports, lifestyle, everything.
Okay. So not politics, not necessarily politics.
But so they are followed by many people. Yes, probably millions together, millions of people together. And in the good moment, they turn to give some political message to a candidate. It was one phenomenon. And then secondly, it was some very sophisticated campaign in November. I'm talking on November. On splitting in small pieces all the society regarding after the interest of the people. And this campaign arrived to give the different message for each of these pieces of the society. It was very professionally and surely very costly, but we do not have still the proofs of how much it costs. And then we had also on TikTok, we had some sophisticated technique in order to avoid the algorithms, to give a very good exposure to the candidate. And there is a question that was raised in some reports of the intelligence service of some countries, that why TikTok, the human part of TikTok doesn't see that kind of exposure. That happened in November. Yeah.
So how did you stop it? Tell us how to stop it.
I think what happened in that May, in the second round of the May election in Romania, was a huge mobilization of the society. And it was on three topics, for three reasons. So one was the pro-European direction. The second, the economical issue. So as Mr. Simeon said that he will nationalize some private companies, there will be some intervention of the state in the economy. The people was concerned.
They didn't like it.
Yeah, because the people understood that Romania on the economical side, Romania have some important risks. And third, there was a difference between a very, how to say, democratic dialogue style discourse against very violent one. So what happened in that 2 weeks, that many people that didn't ever gave some political message said, look, it's not a question of persons, it's a question of direction. Please keep the good way. So there have been political figures, businessmen, I don't know, football players. Everyone said, look, it's a big question, big concern of the society. Let's go in the good direction.
So do you think, can you stop it in the future? How do you stop it in the next elections, parliamentary elections, for example? How will you stop this information from influencing people in the next, not presidential, but parliamentary elections in Romania?
I think there are two things. First, I do not have a complete answer now, but on a technical side, I know that the authorities of the Republic of Moldova are much better than ours.
Okay.
So they arrived to cancel some sites that gave this information. And what we want to do, of course, we have always a question of balance on the freedom of speech. Yes.
Yeah.
And secondly, it's a question of trust of the people in the authorities that we have to restore.
Okay. Mr. President, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great stay in Warsaw, the rest of it, and I hope to see you in Bucharest next time.
Yes, with pleasure, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.